Hello everyone, this is the second part of module 1 and today I will discuss about the current trends in nanoelectronics and optoelectronics. The evolution of microelectronic devices is greatly influenced by several factors like memory capacity in ICs, high transmission data speed, optical sources for communication, etc. We always need electronic devices with very high speed of operation and smaller size. In 1975, Gordon Moore, the co-founder of Intel, had observed that the number of devices on a chip will double in every 2 years. This forecast rate is known as Moore's law. Check the figure. This figure shows that the reduction of feature size of most transistors as well as the number of bits per chip for the period 1970 to 2020. For example, a 256 megabit DRAM, it contains about 10 to the power 9 transistors, channel length very close to 100 nanometer. In 1960s, channel length of the MOSFET was around 10 micrometer. And today, most of the ICs utilize CMOS technology with channel length around 40 nanometer. Scaling down has so many advantages. With smaller transistors and shorter interconnects, more circuits can be fabricated on each silicon wafer, and this will lead to cheaper circuits. Then, we are familiar with parasitic or unwanted capacitance in integrated circuits. Smaller transistors and shorter interconnects will lead to smaller capacitance. Therefore, it will have high speed, higher IC speed. Then, smaller transistors will lead to reduced power supply voltages and power consumption. Anyway, scaling down has its own problems. At very short gate length, the major constraints are static and dynamic power consumption, then overheating, increased electric field within the oxide, then increased leakage gate current, etc. The classical physics or the traditional laws, they do not apply in nano range. And we know that the energy levels exist in the conduction band and valence band. In nanoscale, these continuous energy levels will become discrete, or it will be get quantized. So the quantum effects need to be employed for modeling device characteristics. Electrons in quantum mechanics, they are represented by traveling waves, and it exhibits wave-like properties. So here comes the nanoelectronics. Nanoelectronics refers to the use of nanotechnology in electronic components. Nanoelectronic devices have critical dimensions with a size range between 1 nanometer and 100 nanometer. Transistors based on new concepts like single electron transistors, then resonant tunneling transistors. These are different from traditional transistors. We will discuss the working principle and structure of these transistors in our last modules. In the near future, most of the components of microelectronics that will be replaced by nanoelectronics components, and the feature size of electronic devices that will be reduced to about 10 nanometer. Then fabrication of heterostructures or heterostructured devices, they are very critical in the field of nanoelectronics. We know that the heterostructure, it is a semiconductor structure with one or more heterojunctions. A heterojunction is an interface with two layers or regions of different semiconductors. In order to develop heterojunctions of two different semiconductors of nanometer range, requires advanced deposition process techniques. Advanced deposition process in the sense advanced molecular beam epitaxy and CVD process, they are commonly used to deposit nano layers of single atomic level. Okay. Metal organic chemical vapor deposition or MOCVD. It is a preferred technique to produce semiconductor heterostructures in the nanometer range. So in order to include more components, mesoscopic systems require the formation of nanostructures in the range very close to 100 nanometer. But there are so many challenges. Even in the case of lithography process, I hope you are familiar with lithography process, okay? The lithography process is used to form desired patterns on the given substrate. At present, we are very close to the resolution limits of conventional optical lithography process. And we need to use high resolution nanolithography techniques like electron beam, ion beam, or X-ray lithography process. Then, when we move to the nanometer scale, there are several technological limits. The main thing is that the amount of heat generated by the power consumption. This generated heat cannot be eliminated successfully because of the thermal conductivity limits of the materials. Because when we scale down, the thermal conductivity rate of the material also drops. Then another factor is related to the parameter spread, that is in the fabrication. Doping or diffusion, it is one of the critical factors in the fabrication of transistors. In nanoscale, as the size of region to be doped is decreased in nanometer range, the number of doping atoms becomes so low that the diffusion cannot be controlled effectively. Then there are also certain fundamental physical limits. The energy necessary to write a bit, that should be greater than k into t. Then relativistic limit, that is signals cannot be propagate faster than the light, faster than the speed of light. As objects travel faster and faster, they get heavier and heavier. The heavier they get, it will be harder to move, harder to achieve acceleration. So we never get into the speed of light. Okay. Next point is about uncertainty principle. According to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, the energy and the time needed to write or read a bit, that should be related by delta E into delta T, that should be greater than or equal to Planck's constant. And delta E and delta T are uncertainties in the energy and in the time required to measure the particle's energy. Now we can discuss about the current trends in nanoelectronics. There are much technological advancement in the field of solid-state nanoelectronics. Some of them are heterostructures of group 3 and group 5 compounds, single electron transistors, resonant tunneling diodes and transistors, etc. There are also advancement in the field of superconducting electronics and spintronics. Superconducting tunnel junctions, they are used for high switching speeds, which is based on the switching properties of the Josephson junction. Josephson junction, it is nothing but two superconducting layers. It is separated by very thin oxide layer, very thin insulating film. Then what is superconducting layers? We know that at a very low temperature, some materials will have zero resistance. The thin layers of such materials are called superconducting layers. The Josephson effect is the phenomenon of supercurrent. There is a current that flows continuously without any voltage applied across the Josephson junction. We will discuss more about tunneling and resonant tunneling in Module 4 and Module 5. Anyway, these junctions can operate at very high switching speed. And another technology is spintronics. It is the study of intrinsic spin of the electrons and its associated magnetic moment. Spin is the quantum mechanical property of electron. This makes them behave like very small compass needles. The spin of electrons has direction and can point up or down or in between. So spin can be used to transfer information even through an insulator. Even we can use the external magnetic field to control the orientation of these electrons. Another advancement is in the field of molecular electronics. Molecular electronics is also known as moletronics. It deals with the assembly of molecular electronic components using molecules as the building block. Here they design and synthesize new organic molecules for future applications in electronic devices. All the electronic devices around us, like mobile phones or computers, they work on silicon processors, right? These tiny processors are built of billions of transistors. In molecular electronics, they are trying to replace these transistors using the new organic molecules which are of 1 nanometer in size. In future, we will be able to design electronic products using these tiny smart organic materials. Yes, the compounds will be very small, faster and energy efficient. And this molecular electronics will be the future of nanoelectronics. I would also like to mention about bioelectronics and bioelectronic medicines. So these devices are nanoparticles which is used to read the impulses in our nerves. If anything is wrong with the impulses, these devices can write the correct impulses to our nerves. Okay. Now we will discuss about the current trends in optoelectronics. The traditional optoelectronic devices, they are manufactured using group 3 and group 5 direct bandgap semiconductors. Example is aluminum gallium arsenide, that is AlGaAs gas heterostructure, which will have a wavelength range of 0.8 to 1.6 micrometer. Now the quantum well semiconductor lasers and photodetectors are replacing the conventional devices. These nano devices are used in long distance optical communication. Then the active region of this quantum well laser is very narrow, and here the quantum confinement occurs. The thin layer in which the electrons and holes recombine to produce light is called the active region. The active region is very small. Okay. At present, laser diodes are manufactured even in chips. It is known as optoelectronic integrated circuits or OEIC. The quantum well and quantum dot lasers have so many advantages. Some of them are low threshold current. Threshold current is nothing but it is the minimum current needed to cause the lasing action. Then they will have the excellent temperature feature, high modulation rate, and even the wavelengths are easily adjustable. So we can conclude this session. So the expected university questions from this session are discuss about the current trends in nanoelectronics and optoelectronics, then the impact of nanotechnology on electronics, then what are the limitations of conventional electronics, then what are the advantages of nanoelectronic devices over the traditional microelectronic devices. Okay. In the next session, we will discuss about the nanostructures and their classification based on dimensionality. Thank you.